Hello once again, and welcome back to another in our ongoing and hopefully growing series of short tutorials. A little bit of a coaching counsel, a little bit of advice. Someone has oftentimes said it's kind of like a snack time for learning. I can have a cup of coffee, perhaps eat my lunch, and watch the tutorial at the same time in just under 20 minutes. Always under 20 minutes. We have a WIT Talk. You've heard of TED Talks? Well, we have WIT Talks. And WIT stands for What It Takes. What it takes to be a world-class performance coach, business leader, entrepreneur. And you know what? All three are important. Because if you are going to be a leader today, you're going to have to help be a coach so people perform at their best. You're going to have to lead the business. And in many ways, you're going to have to create new things. You're going to have to be a leader in innovation and marketing. And that, whether you are formally or not, is entrepreneurship. So we're going to try and discover what it takes. Now today I simply want to introduce you to kind of an idea which I discovered a few years ago. I guess it's more than a few years now, but it really changed how I looked at the world, and it kind of made sense as I began to understand even where I had come from as a longtime radio broadcaster and teacher. The guy's name was Seth Godin. You've probably heard of him. Many of you have. And he and I have similar haircuts. I think our glasses are somewhat alike. He's younger and smarter, and certainly better looking and better known. But I remember when I was listening to him, he made an expression which caught me. And then I perked up. Then I thought about it. And so I fully give him credit for it, even though in some cases I have been blamed or originated from me. It's just simply I'm passing it on, which is true of many good ideas. A lot of my ideas I learned from somebody else, just like you are, hopefully right now. Here's what Seth said. He said, "Dead tree marketing is dead." Now, you got that? Dead tree marketing is dead. Well, what did he mean by that? Well, just go to the mail. And you will find the mail is full of people trying to sell me things. They're marketing to me. They're trying to get me to give them money, which I'd prefer not to. I'd prefer to keep my money. But they're trying to get me to buy something from them and give them money. So that's what marketing is all about. Marketing is to help people make the move to pay money to somebody else for something they want or desire that they hope. Now, get this, okay? You'll get it. Okay. There's only three reasons why people will pay you or give you money. First of all, they honestly believe that you will make their situation better. Whatever they're in, whatever situation they're in, it's going to be better. Secondly, you're going to make or save them money. All right? Got that? And number three, they think it will make them happy. Now, if you can have all three of those in your offer, now you got that? This is free stuff. This wasn't even part of the class. But that's why people buy something. That's why they part with money. They really believe that something is going to be better off because of that. Their situation will be better. It might change radically, and you're trying to help them make those changes. Secondly, they believe that they're going to make or save money, and that's important today. Money is vital to how we do life. And thirdly, they believe it'll make them happy in some way. It'll make them happy. So all kinds of dead trees are out there, along with radio and TV and internet and, well, billboards, you name it. Thousands upon thousands of messages come to us every day where people are trying to say, buy me, buy my stuff, buy us. Okay. Now, here's the problem. It probably is true that dead tree marketing is dead. Now think about it. all of these, this is a pretty dead tree. I mean, it's pretty. All the work, the pictures and the text, it had to take a lot of time and money to put this all together. And unfortunately, since I wasn't really in the mood for more woodcraft stuff, I've got what I need. I put it away. Now here's a catalog. Wow. Now this is for my wife. And it's very, very nice. Again, a pretty, glossy, wonderful dead tree. She looked at it. I think she spent about a minute and a half with it at the most. And then she tossed it. And that's where I picked it up. This is a service reminder. And it's very, very pretty. It's very, very nice. And it's got my name on it, which makes me feel important. But, you know, I really don't want to do that right now, too. Unfortunately, all of these dead trees had very, very little return on value from me. In fact, it was zero. Now, what they're betting on is that if they send out enough of this stuff, it's the proverbial numbers game. If you send out 10,000 or whatever the number is, you do the math, you do all, I mean, this is really a marketing art. Now, some would call it a science, but there is no such thing as marketing science or engineering science. It truly is an art form. Now, you can get better at it. You can get good at it. I know a lot about how to do advertising. And if you want me to help you write and put together a dead tree flyer or brochure, I've got some pretty good ideas on how to do that. However, I'm pretty much convinced that Seth was right. Dead tree marketing is dead. And it really will have a very little return on investment or value. Now, some of you are saying, but Stan, look at the newspaper. Well, yeah, particularly the Sunday newspapers in many lands, they're full of dead tree marketing. And that's right, and I check some of them out. And here's why I check them out. Usually I'm looking for the bargains. I'm looking for the sales. I'm looking for the stuff that is really cheap. And so when my wife and I go out to do our weekly little shopping trip, we certainly will look at, from our favorite store, a few of their flyers. And what are we looking for? We're looking for what is probably the sales loss leaders where we can go in and say, wow, we got that. Now they're hoping that perhaps while I'm roaming the aisles, I'll buy something else that's not a loss leader or something that's not so cheap or something that really manages their margins or mangles their margins. They're hoping that I'll buy something else. But of course, you see, I kind of mess with that because I'm pretty disciplined about that. You know, I have my list and I'm not an impulse buyer that much. That's part of the problem with dead trees today too. Not only are they glossy and expensive and are they got to be distributed in a variety of ways, but oftentimes people now use them for low price sale commodities. Again, if it works for you, if dead tree marketing is working for you, go for it. In fact, perhaps you should do a class or a course or what it takes to make dead trees come alive in your marketing efforts. That might be a good class. Maybe you should challenge me on it and come and maybe we'll do it together. Maybe I could learn something from you. But whether it works or not, and it's working less and less, in this sense, it is a dead tree. First of all, it's experientially dead. Now, this is the experience economy. We're wide open to sound, shows, moves, music, movies. It's an experience that's not there. There is no sensory experience. Now perhaps maybe they'll put a little perfume on that makeup thing. Maybe the colors, maybe something that's helpful, or the pictures I like. But in terms of actually having experiential movement, energy, personality, all the things that go into good marketing today, it doesn't have. It can't. It simply can't. It's experientially dead. Another thing we have learned is that oftentimes the thing that really triggers a buying or a movement action, there's a part of our brain that is more conducive to taking knowledge, information, and then turning it into an action item. As people say, I want to educate my client. No, I don't want to educate my client. I want my client or customer to give me money to buy things from me. You're not in the education business if you're in business, unless you're in the education business. But again, you're trying to get people, if it is a business, to buy something. Not just to inform them, not just entertain them. All of that is designed to help them become a customer. And a happy customer, and a repeat customer, and a customer who tells other people and recommends you so they bring in customers. That's the goal. The part of the brain that usually moves people to action is primarily stimulated by auditory sounds. It is sound that tends to move us into action. And the dead trees can't talk. They have no real sound vibration at all. And oftentimes I say that if it's important, it needs to be heard. Now I'm going to put this even further forward by saying that's a lot of why the texting and the email phenomenon is not good. Because it is information, it's text. Oftentimes all it is an electronically sent dead tree. However, what if I can put a performance? What if I can put action? What if I can put movement? What if I can put energy? Nothing happens without energy. And that's why today, good marketing is oftentimes very personal. It's oftentimes involved in hearing a story, feeling a feel, wanting, desiring something that works to our sensory, our auditory, our emotional feelings. In fact, if you really want to make something happen, not only do you have to move their head, you have to touch their heart. And that usually happens because people hear a story, people feel a feeling, have some desire come into their life, and it's really hard for a dead tree. That piece of paper, that flyer, that brochure, that newspaper, even that book. Why do so many people today enjoy the hearing of the book? Well, first of all, you can go on a road trip and you don't have to read the book, you just listen to it. But you see, in the hearing there's personality and there's energy. There's more ways that the imagination can be used in the hearing of the written text rather than just reading the written text. Well, I've just decided to stop. The dead tree marketing presentation is now coming to an end. It's going to be dead. All I wanted to do for you is to expose you to the idea. Now it's up to you. What does it take now? Now, knowing what you know, you're in a business leadership, entrepreneurial, marketing position. What are you going to do with the phenomenon? If you're going to use a dead tree, how are you going to use it more effectively? If you're going to move away from dead tree marketing, how should you move? What should you do that is what I call performance marketing, where people perform, they hear, they sense, they feel, they see. How are you going to do that? Well, find a coach and I'd be glad to help you. I can perhaps give you some exploratory things to do, and perhaps we can even work out a relationship that might be helpful and useful to you. But that's not what this is about. This is to help you decide and discover what it takes to be a world-class performance coach to others, a business leader of an organization, and very, very powerfully someone who is an entrepreneur creating and innovating and marketing and building their own movement, their own organization, their own great business. They're making a difference in the world. And that's what I want for you. And I hope that this will help you figure out what it's going to take to make that happen in your life and business. I'm Stan Hustad. Till next time, for What It Takes, all the best, and bye for now.